Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. I said something about the $64,000 question. A lot of you may not know what that is, but it used to be a game show. But it is no longer, because now we have the wheel. And that's what we're all about. We're talking about big money, but not in this question.
Okay.
The word is, you're thinking about running for governor of the state of Alabama. God knows we need some people in Montgomery to change things up. What's the reality? Talk about it.
Well, the
If you don't
reality
mind,
is,
you don't have to say yay or nay, but
well, I mean, the truth is that I'm seriously considering it. The other truth is that I haven't made a final decision.
and the other truth is, why would you want to do that?
Well, I think, when I
I mean,
ran,
life is good for you right now.
it is good. But, life didn't look too rosy 6 years ago. When this commission was sworn into office, we had some major problems. As a matter of fact, most of the electorate had lost trust in the county commission, and the problems were huge.
Oh, yeah.
And I set what I thought was 5 seemingly unachievable, audacious goals for the county. Recruit a county manager, resolve the sewer debt crisis with no new taxes or clean water fees, right-size government to live within our means, restore the public's trust, and regain our position in economic development. We've achieved all those audacious goals. And I'm a big believer that if you don't set seemingly unachievable goals, you'll never accomplish them. And so, whether I run for governor.
That's the aim at the stars. If you don't hit them, you'll land high anyway.
Right.
Sort of mentality.
So, whether I run or not, I don't think someone from Montgomery can solve the problems that Montgomery created. Honestly, don't. I think it's going to require an outsider.
Someone from Tuscaloosa?
I think it's going to require an outsider. Let's just say it that way. Tommy, I know you're active in our community. I keep saying, what would happen if we started setting audacious goals for the state? Achievable, or at least on paper, they might not look achievable, but they are achievable if we could get everyone pointed in the same direction. For example, what would happen if we were able to increase our median family income from the lowest 10% just to the top 50%? What would happen to our economy, our real estate market? What would happen if we were able to move our school system from the bottom 10% to the top quartile? What would happen if our young adults weren't trying to seek greener pastures in Atlanta, in Charlotte, in Nashville? Just cut that in half. What would happen if we could cut adult obesity by 50%? I mean, if we could start, I'm not saying what would happen if we increased our median income to the top. I just said the top 50%. We need to set what on paper looks, we can't do that. Well, why not? And so I'm a big what would happen if kind of guy.
But how do you make those things happen?
Well, I mean, you do it just like, how do we resolve the sewer debt without no new taxes and clean water fees? You work at it, but you articulate a goal, you communicate the goal, and you gather the team together that can achieve the goal. You and I worked for Scotty McCallum.
We did.
Well, I don't guess I worked for him, but I worked with him for sure.
A great human being.
And Scotty, at the time Scotty was elected, Vestavia had a lot of problems, particularly economically. And we would have many problems that we needed to face. And I remember Scotty telling me once, David, I don't know the solution to that problem, but I know there's someone in Vestavia Hills that does. And my job as mayor is to find that person and get them involved. And so how you do it is you go find not people that are nested in the old ways of doing things, people that have new thoughts that nobody asked. How do we do this? What would you suggest? What are the alternate methods? So I think you're going to have a new governor that sets a new pace of asking questions. I don't think it's important for me to know how to increase the median family income from 48th to 25th. I know I can find some people. Do you know what it would take on average to get us to the 50th percentile? A 19% increase in salaries. Well, that can come through productivity easily. That can come, I don't want people, I'm against the minimum wage increase. You know why? That should be for high school and college students to learn how to show up to work on time, to give them a work ethic. I want to take our adults that are struggling in a minimum wage job and give them training opportunities so they can go work for someone else. And so I think we're going to need a new vision and a new thought and a new way of asking questions for the state.
Well, so we have a state whose governor is under investigation, whose former Speaker of House is on appeal from a criminal conviction and is facing jail time, and we have a Supreme Court justice who's no longer there, who got defrocked for the second time. How do you fix what appears to be unfixable down there? I don't think we're an aberration.
Did you feel like Jefferson County was fixable 6 years ago? No one trusted the county commissioners. You know, I'm going to give you an example. Barnett Wright, who's been on your show multiple times, wrote an article after I'd been in office a couple of years and said that I was the most effective president in more than a decade. Jefferson County Commission president. My mom was so excited until I told her that 2 were in federal penitentiary and 1 had pled guilty to perjury. So the bar is very, very low. You know, if you come in with integrity, if you're straightforward, you know, you restore the public's trust. You know what? We've got a major trust factor in this state. You know, some people think if Luther gets to be the senator, and by this time I think he will be, that there's people, lawyers below Luther that was investigating the governor. That investigation doesn't end just because Luther leaves. You can't, the top person is setting the tone and direction for the organization. They are not the organization.
All right. So we got like 15 seconds. If you'll remember, the question was, are you running for governor or not?
And the answer
the answer was what we just talked about. And the answer is maybe.
I'm
thinking about it.
Seriously thinking about it.
Thanks, Dave.
Stay tuned.
This is Our Issues Birmingham. Thanks for being with us this Sunday, and we will see you next week.